The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Happy Thursday. My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this 24th day of April 2025, and we continue our Chicago week. That wasn't planned, by the way, with the Battle of Waukegan. Milwaukee versus Chicago. The Cubs, they're just not having a good year, but they weren't exposed to having a good year in 1956. The Braves, however, were the it team the first 2 months of the season. And now that is the Brooklyn Dodgers, who were the it team in the National League in the third month of the season. And so as we close out, this is our last stream for the month of June, believe it or not. When we're with you on Monday, it is a doubleheader day. It is Brooklyn and the Giants from the Polo Grounds to celebrate July 4th. So that's how far we are in the replay. How about that? That's pretty amazing, isn't it? So this is a big one for the Braves. They kind of have to win. The computer's managing them today because the Dodgers have kind of taken over, as we'll show you when we get to the standings. Bob Rush for the Cubs, and I forgot who's going for Milwaukee. I think it's Lou Burdett. Anyway, Cubs, Braves, it's the battle of the superstations. Next. As soon as I hit the right button, as Retro Sports Network presents Major League Replay 1956. Today, it is the Chicago, from Wrigley Field in Chicago, the Chicago Cubs and the Milwaukee Braves. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. It'll be, Lou Burdett and Bob Rush. The Cubs come into this one, not terrible shape, 27-34. The Braves, again, aren't horrible by any stretch. They've just been passed by the Dodgers. The Braves, this is game number 60 for them, and for the Cubs this is game 62. Bob Rush taking the hill for Chicago, making his 14th of 32 starts, having a good year, 6-6, a 3.19 ERA, which matches his real life number. 31 years old, fastball. How you doing, Big Dave? Fastball 84, and the standard pitcher. His last start came against the Pirates, which he won on June 24th. So 5 days rest, 7-5 win, 9 innings, 122 pitches, 6 hits, 5 runs. The defense was not his friend. Only one of those 5 runs was earned. A home run allowed. He's given up 19 so far. A walk and a strikeout. Triple G, how are you? Rush has thrown 107 in the third innings, 87 hits, released an album or two, 51 runs, 38 earned, again 19 home runs. He has only walked 23 and struck out 48. And this will be the lineup he'll face. Danny O'Connell will lead off at second. Billy Bruton in center will bat second. Eddie Matthews at third will bat third. Hank Aaron cleans up in right. Bobby Thompson in left will bat fifth. Rainy day here on the prairie. It's a beautiful day here. I think it's like 60 degrees. Might rain this afternoon. That's what the computer's telling me. Joe Adcock is at first. He'll bat sixth. Del Rice behind the plate, batting seventh. Johnny Logan at short goes eighth. And Lou Burdett will bat ninth. Rush can get you 140 pitches. Defensively for the Cubs, Bonnie Irvin is 7-4 in left. Pete Wisenant is a 5-5 in center. Walt Morin is a 5-7 in right. Don Hoke is a 4 at third. Ernie Banks a 7-7 at short. Gene Baker an 8-8 at second. Dee Fondy is a 5 at first. Hobie Landreth is a 5-5 behind the plate. And Rush an 8 on the mound with a 960 fielding percentage. We're playing with the newest patch, by the way, which came out a couple days ago. The weather here at Wrigley is as perfect as you'll ever find on a June day. It is 70 degrees. The skies are clear. You can see Bob Newhart's apartment from here. And there is absolutely, positively no wind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm guessing that this picture is from the early 70s. I'm counting 6 game spots per team, per league. So there you have it. Danny O'Connell at 229, 2 homers, and 16 RBI. 78 and sunny in Rochester at 1180 WHAM. Pitch to O'Connell is a base hit into right center field. Morin picks it up. He should have made the play, but he didn't. And that's how this one starts. So Walt could be doing better. Billy Bruton at 333. 9 triples already on the year. 8 homers and 41 RBI. Rush deals. And O'Connell goes to second because Landreth couldn't handle the pitch. Well, the Cubs are starting off like a thundering herd of turtles in this one. My goodness. So we've had a poor play in right field and a pass ball in the first 6 pitches of the ballgame. Bob Rush is hoping that free agency gets installed soon. The 3-0 to Bruton is into left field. Irvin going back to the Ivy, makes the catch. O'Connell goes back to the bag at second. Will tag. The throw goes into Ernie Banks, and O'Connell is into third. So even swinging at the 3-0 was productive as O'Connell moves up 90. Here's Eddie Matthews at 332, 18 home runs, and 54 RBI. And in case you're wondering, that's 6th in average, 4th in home runs, and 6th in RBI. All behind Duke Snider of the Dodgers. Pitch to Matthews, runner on third. That's a ground ball to Baker. That should score the run. We will sacrifice the out for the run. So O'Connell scores. Matthew is retired. There's 2 out for Hank Aaron, hitting .312, 8 home runs, and 48 RBI. How you doing, Andrew? Not 78 in Claremont today. That is a ground ball again to Baker. Second verse, same as the first, and that'll take care of the Braves in the top of the first. They do, however, get a run on a lot of help from the Cubs defense. 1 hit, and they don't leave anybody on. Half an inning in the books. Milwaukee 1, Chicago nothing. So Lou Burdett, making start number 14 on the year, has really just been kind of average. I mean, nothing out there says kind of ace. In real life, he was a 19-game winner. So far in the replay, in his 14th start, he is 4-5 with a 4.28 ERA. Lou is 30, throws a fastball around 84, and is a ground ball pitcher. His last time out, 5 days ago, against the Giants in New York, an 11-5 win. He went the distance, 121 pitches, 8 hits, 5 runs, all earned. And that broke a run of 4 straight games where he gave up 10 or more hits. 2 home runs, he walked 1 and struck out 2. So Burdett, who has not beaten the Cubs this year, and this is his 3rd start against Chicago. They've won both of those games, but he didn't get a decision. Anyway, 101 innings for Lou, 104 hits, 53 runs, 48 earned, 13 home runs, so ball go far, 20 walks and 32 strikeouts. It is nice. 60, yeah, about 60 this morning. Got out for a nice walk this morning before having my tea. Lineup for the Cubs. That probably is important, isn't it? Don Hoke leads off at third for Chicago. Gene Baker at second will bat second. D. Fondy at first will go third. Ernie Banks cleans up at short. Walt Morin in right will bat fifth. Monty Irvin in left will go sixth. Pete Wisenant in center field batting seventh. Landreth behind the plate goes eighth. And Bob Rush will go ninth. And Burdett can give you 145 pitches. Defensively for the Braves, Bobby Thompson a 6 and a 3 in left. Billy Bruton a 7 and a 6 in center. Hank Aaron, a 9 and a 9 in right. I think that Aaron was just kind of underappreciated as a defender, don't you? Eddie Matthews, talking about good defenders, a 10 at third. And his era, of course, predating Schmidt and George Brett, he kind of gets lost in the conversation, too. Johnny Logan, a 7 and a 7 at short. Danny O'Connell, a 7 and a 6 at second. Joe Adcock is a 6 at first. Del Rice behind the plate is a 7 and a 7. Let's go baseball. Do we not have a favorite, John, between the Braves and the Cubs? And Lou Burdett, an 8 on the mound, and a very good fielder at 985. Hoke at 214 is your leadoff hitter. Isn't that great? 3 home runs and 10 RBI. He will draw a walk, but again, that is not leadoff material. Pitch to Hoke. There is a ground ball over the mound. Logan has it, throws to first, and there's one away. Now the joke has run its course. You're just upset because I figured it out. Or you told me. Gene Baker at 266. 7 homers and 20 RBI. That is right back up the box. Burdett throws to Adcock for the out. So 2 away for D. Fondy. D at 276. 4 home runs and 26 RBI. Any surprise grandkid visits today from anybody? Pitch to Fondy. There is a base hit into right center field. Aaron will cut it off, throws it in, and D will hold with the 2-out single. For Ernie Banks, Ernie at 272, 12 home runs and 44 RBI. 1-0 Milwaukee here in the bottom of the first. Banks, there is a base hit into left center field. Bruton, actually, that will go to all the way to the ivy. Banks is in with a double, and Fondy will score to tie this game. So Banks drives in his 45th run on his 11th double, and the Cubs, hey, it's a 1-1 game. Walt Morin at 288, 6 home runs and 27 RBI. Burdett, again, you could not have asked for a nicer weather day in the bleachers at Wrigley Field. Everyone's going to get baked at 70 degrees and not a breath of wind. Pitch to Morin, walked him. Not the start the Braves wanted. Here's Monty Irvin at 235, 5 home runs and 19 RBI. Not today. Waiting for a guy to come demolish and remove your old shed. Interesting. These old bones are resting today, playing some Strat and Action PC. I know you do the baseball and Action PC. Strat football? How you doing? Good afternoon, baseball. And Tim, how are you doing? Pitch to Monty Irvin. There is a base hit into left center field. Banks should round third and score. He will. Morin will hold at second. And somehow, some way, the Cubs are up 2-1. The Braves fans who watch this channel are starting to grit their teeth. Wizardin at 255, 6 homers and 20 RBI. If the Braves are to win the National League, they need a lot better pitching out of Lou Burdett. Again, he's been average. That offense is good. I'm not sure they're as good as Cincinnati, but they're pretty good. But that pitching, I think Milwaukee has in spades. But Burdett needs to start showing it. Pitch to Wizardin. There is a ground ball to Logan. Johnny goes to O'Connell for the easy out, and that will do. They get 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and after 1 here at Wrigley Field, it's the Cubs 2, the Braves 1. You might reacquaint yourself with your PS5. Bobby Thompson, Joe Adcock, and Del Rice here in the second. Bobby at 274, 7 homers and 42 RBI. Strat Gooden and Tudor cards and dice. Nice! Replaying as played Phillies on Action PC. Tudor, because Gooden had such a great year in 85, is unappreciated. That 85 playoff run for St. Louis The House of Tudor. He won every time he went out there. I believe he pitched 5 times in the playoffs, and the Cardinals won all 5 of those games. Pitch to Thompson. Bobby swings. That's in the right. Morin going back. And 1 out. Joe Adcock at 268. Only has 8 home runs. Again, this is game 60 for Milwaukee. And driven in 28. I would chuckle going into like a EB or wherever you buy those machines at this point, the PS5s, and you got someone our age and older going in and so you buying it for the grandkids? No, I'm getting it for myself. Jeez. Pitch to Adcock. Joe hits this one into left center. Wisn't going back. That ball is gone. That one finds the back of the bleachers here and gets chucked back on the field as Adcock smashes his 9th of the year. Too much of the plate, and no one believes in a shutdown inning. Right now, John is through May 17th in that Strat replay, and Gooden is doing about what could be expected. That was just a tremendous year. Tudor, ERA being similar to real life at this point, but he's 5-1 and not 1-5. Yet John Tudor's 85, the sham, if you will, of pitching seasons. See how many of you get that one. Yeah, Cody says Adcock took me talking about his low home run count personally with that drive. Yep. It's funny how that happens. I remember doing a game when we were doing 78. So that would have been 5 years ago. And got talking about Alan Trammell. And, making up something about Trammell being mad at me. And then Trammell went like 4 for 4. It happens. Del Rice at 245. No homers. And 5 RBI. Rush steals. That will be a line drive to Banks. Ernie's there. 2 out. For Johnny Logan, hitting 282, 6 homers, and 33 RBI. There is a ground ball to second. Banks behind the bag, throws to Fondy, and Logan is retired. After an inning and a half, the solo homer from Adcock ties this ball game at 2. The funny thing is, Cody, after a while, you do feel like that these players will talk to you. If you talk to the Cards, for instance, sometimes the Cards will talk back. It's too bad they're going to put me in the home after saying that, but I do believe it at times. Landreth is at 231. Holby has 2 triples as a catcher. Wow. A home run and 11 RBI. That is into left center. He goes the opposite way for a base hit, and Bruton throws it back in. So the Cubs have 4 hits. Burdette doesn't seem to have a lot for him. Bob Rush, with Adcock and Matthews coming in, will bunt, hitting 105 with 2 RBI. Rush will square, and that is right to Joe, who throws to O'Connell covering the bag at first, and it is a 3-4. On the bunt, 1 out for Don Hoke, who's 0 for 1. Opening 9 for Burdette. The good news, 25 pitches. The bad news, inning in a third, 4 hits, 2 runs, they're both earned, and a walk. Cody has been noticing that with his 94 deep drive baseball replay, at least in the early stages, hearing the players enhances the play experience for the full season. Absolutely. Absolutely. Pitch to Hoke. There is a ground ball to Logan. Johnny has to wait for it. Throws to first. Hoke, not a fleet of foot, is retired, and Landreth will hold 2 out for Gene Baker, who's 0 for 1. You doing everybody in that there, Cody, or no? That is a ground ball past Matthews and Thompson down all the way down the ivy and left. The Cubs are going to take the lead as Landreth will score, and Baker is in the second standing. So the kids who live in Milwaukee are just kind of glaring at their TV sets right now to look at Lou Burdett and shake their heads. Full season replay, Cody says. Felt it was worth starting with a clean slate with how the season ended. Nice. And you obviously like the game enough to do that. D. Fondy singled and scored in the first. Baker on second. That is going to be a ground ball to Matthews. He'll go to first. Adcock is there. Fondy's running, and that's an error. I don't know. Wow. So Matthews makes his 12th error of the year. And so Baker will hold at third, Fondy at first. Milwaukee playing rather sluggish on this gorgeous day in Chicago. Ernie Banks doubled his first time up, drove home a run, and then scored. Full leagues. Just which league? National, American, or both? Pitch to Banks. Ernie hits a ground ball to a slow hopper to Matthews. Eddie waits. He'll go to O'Connell for the force, and that will retire the side. However, the Cubs get a run on 2 hits and an error. And after 2, it is the Cubs 3, the Braves 2. So Burdett, who's hitting .325 with an RBI, O'Connell and Bruton to face Rush. Pitch to Lou. There is a ground ball to Banks. Ernie throws to Fondy for the out. Maybe? Yes. John says 94 deep drive is the one and only season so far that you've owned and played. Greg Maddox replay to check the accuracy of the engine. Played individual hand-picked games each day that Maddox didn't start. Nice. Here's another player that doesn't get the appreciation that he should. Greg Maddox. And Digital Diamond to send the rest. I haven't got the new version yet. You can do this version. You can do Status Pro for the whole thing. You don't even need to use the Digital Diamond engine if you don't want. Danny O'Connell singled and scored in the first. Opening 9 for Rush. 32 pitches, 2 1/3, 2 hits, and the home run from Ernie Banks. No, Ron, look at the right team. Joe Adcock. Wait. O'Connell, left field. Irvin, Mosey's over. Will make the catch. 2 out. For Bruton, who's 0 for 1. And he walked. Rush snaps the ball back in his glove. Full count was payoff pitch was just high. So 2 out for Matthews. Eddie does have an RBI. And he walked him. That's not what you want to do with Aaron coming up. So Rush with 2 out now has 2 walks. Aaron is 0 for 1. There's a fly ball center field. Whizzing will make the catch, and Milwaukee fails to score. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 2.5, the Braves finally leave on some runners and trail the Cubs 3-2. John says his stats were almost spot on. Even walks per 9 did better versus lefties and righties, which concerned me, but the total stats came out very accurate. Nice. It'll be Morin, Irvin, and Wisenant for the Cubs here in the third. Cody's been debating Digital Diamond for 2004. If I opt to buy the season ticket, baseball season, only plan to play the Cardinals and an AL team. Yes. Expos beat the White Sox in John's 94 World Series. Morin at 288. Oh, no, we've already done that. He's walked his first time up. Pay attention, Ron. Struck him out. First for Burdett, and 0-2 looking for strike 3. So the league leaders made it to the World Series. Did the White Sox win the West in 94? I remember the Expos and the Yankees were the favorite teams. Of course, the White Sox won in 93. That was the last year of 4 divisions. Irvin's 1-for-1. That hits off the mound and gets through between Logan and O'Connell for a single. So a seeing eye hit for Monty Irvin that bounces off the shoe of Lou Burdett. And Lou is allowed 6 hits through 2 in the third. Wizardin is 0-for-1. Fly ball, right center field. Back goes Aaron to the wall, and that's gone. That is long gone. Hey! For Wizardin, that's his 7th of the year, and the Cubs go up 5-2. That found the street. I can't tell you if it was Addison or Clark, but that ball was hit out of Wrigley Field. And so, all of you watching up in southern Wisconsin with your aerials pointed towards Chicago and WGN, you can't be liking what you're seeing here. Here's Landreth. Hobie singled and scored his first time up. Cubs have a run in every inning so far. John says, can't remember his stats, but Denny Martinez was amazing in the playoffs. The Cleveland just couldn't win. Oh, okay. When he didn't pitch. That was the problem with those Indians teams in the 90s when Charles Nagy is your best pitcher, and he's at best a 2 for most teams. They did not have the pitching. White Sox were leading the Central, but the Yankees were a few games better at the pause. Yes. So the White Sox would have gone to the playoffs if there had been one. So that's not too far. Pitch to Hobie. Line to O'Connell for the out. Danny had to make a great leaping catch, his 10th of the year. 2 out for Bob Rush, who's going to swing. There is a ground ball to Logan. Johnny's got it over to Adcock for the out. And so the Cubs put up 2 more on the home run from Wizardin. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors. We go to the 4th here at Wrigley Field. Chicago 5, Milwaukee 2. So Thompson, Adcock, and Rice to face Rush here in the 4th. Bobby is 0-for-1. Line drive to Baker. 1 out. Adcock homered his first time up. Now has 9 on the year. And has driven in 29. That's a base hit. Left center field. Irvin will cut it off. Adcock around first will hold with a single. And Joe has 2 of Milwaukee's 3 hits. Del Rice is 0-for-1. And is sitting on an 8-game hitting streak. Got him. First K for Rush. Rice swung on and missed an off-speed pitch. 2 out. For Johnny Logan, who is 0-for-1. Gets hit. That's not what you want. So, I forgot. I got one more day. This is... Well, look. We'll find out when that holiday doubleheader is. Lou Burdett is 0-for-1. Adcock on second. Logan on first. 2 out. Bob Rush looking for win number 7 on the season. On the right side of a 5-2 score. Popped up. Landreth waits for it. Doffs the mask, foul territory, and that will do. Braves, no runs, a hit. They've left on 4. And after 3.5 here at Wrigley, the Cubs 5, the Braves 2. So, yeah, so we'll be Tuesday. I'll double check. We got a holiday doubleheader for you, either Tuesday or Thursday. Because I forgot. It's a Friday game, not a Saturday game. Standings. Brooklyn, again, playing 683 ball, 43-20. They are 3 up on Milwaukee. And then everyone else is just kind of waiting for football season. The Redlegs 9.5 back, And those are the only 3 teams above 500. Chicago, the Giants, the Phillies, and the Pirates. In the American League, Cleveland by 2 over the White Sox. 3.5 over Detroit. 4 over Boston. 7.5 on New York. My word. Yesterday's action, what we simmed when you weren't watching, Kansas City shut out Detroit 1-0. The Dodgers beat the Giants at Ebbett 6-5, and the Redlegs beat the Pirates in 10, 6-5. Don Hoke is 0 for 2. 18 batters deep for Burdette. It's been a rocky one. 55 pitches, 3 innings, 7 hits. All 5 runs are earned. The home run to Wizardant, a walk, and a strikeout. Got him. So Burdette has fanned 2 as Hoke chased 1. 1 out for Gene Baker, who doubled home a run. He is 1 for 2 today. That is up the middle. Bruton won't get it, and Baker is on with a single. So the Cubs are fired up on this summer afternoon. Here's D. Fondy. D has singled and scored. 1 for 2. Burdette deals. That's into right center field. Aaron gonna run and is gonna run out of real estate. Fondy hits his 5th, and the Cubs have broken this one open. It is 7-2 Chicago, and the Cubs have at least 1 run in every inning. And that will do it for Burdette. Bob Trowbridge will come in to pitch, and they are just in stunned silence in the Braves dugout. We got a pitching change this game coming to you from Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. Trowbridge, no way in hell he looks 26 there, does he? Fastball at 94 and a ground ball pitcher, making his 6th appearance of the year. 1-1 with a 1.17 ERA. Hasn't faced the Cubs. Last pitched on June 23rd. Good for 70 pitches, by the way. 9 pitches in 1 inning and a 2-0 loss to the Giants and a strikeout. So overall, 7 2/3 for Trowbridge. 5 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned. He's walked 4 and struck out 6. That's a rough 26 indeed, Andrew. Cody says sadly 3 teams above 500 in the NL compared to real life. I'm surprised. I expected this to be a horse race all the way through. Wonder if Cincy will make it midseason surge to close that 9.5 gap, or Milwaukee will help play. Milwaukee was playing 800 ball. You knew they weren't going to do that forever. But, and again, it's just one day of 154. But you get on here in a game that Milwaukee was expected to win with ease, and Burdette, coughs up a huge hairball. Ernie Banks 1 for 2, a double, an RBI, and a run scored. Trowbridge starts his effort, fly ball to center. Bruton moves back a step, makes the catch 2 out for Walt Moore, who was walked and struck out. He's 0 for 1. That is hit the other way into left field. Thompson will pick it up off a hop. And the Cubs ate their Wheaties this morning. My goodness, that's their 10th hit with 2 out in the 4th inning. Monty Irvin is 2 of those hits. He has singled twice, driven in a run, and scored. Little chopper down to Matthews. Eddie waits a long time for it. Makes a snap throw to Adcock at first. Irvin's running, and he beat it out. See, this is where you would call a timeout, call your troops together, and tell them no tasty freeze if you don't get your heads out of your butt. So first and second, Morin on second, Irvin on first for Wizardant, who homered his last time up. That is to O'Connell. He throws to Adcock, and that will retire the side, but not before the Cubs put on 2 more. On 4 hits and no errors. We go to the 5th at Wrigley. Chicago 7, Milwaukee 2. So Rush 18 batters deep into his effort, 65 pitches, 4 innings, 3 hits. The home run from Adcock. He has walked 2 and struck out 1. O'Connell, Bruton, and Matthews as the Braves have come to Chicago and been shell-shocked. Pitch to O'Connell, struck him out. That's 2 for Rush. A 1-2, God knows what that was, swung on and missed. 69 miles an hour. Billy Bruton has walked. He's 0 for 1. There's a ground ball to Baker over to Fondy for the out. So 2 out for Matthews. Eddie has a walk, and I believe hit into a fielder's choice for his 55th RBI of the year. Pitch to Matthews is a fly ball to right. The crowd kind of groans. Morin in the alley will make the catch, and that will do. Halfway home on this gorgeous day here in Chicago, or in Burlington, rather, because I'm in Burlington. Cubs 7, Milwaukee 2. What? What do you mean try again? There we go. Well, I forgot when that actually went in, so we'll just go ahead. Good day if you're a Cubs fan. Hey, 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Milwaukee, 2 runs, 3 hits, and an error. Milwaukee actually took the lead in the top of the first. Eddie Matthews, a fielder's choice to make it 1-0. Then the Cubs just opened up. Ernie Banks a double to score D. Fondy to tie the ball game in the bottom of the first. Then Monty Irvin singled home Ernie Banks to make it 2-1. Joe Adcock, after being talked about his lack of power on cue, the broadcaster's jinx, hit his 9th of the year, a moonshot to right center to make it 2-2, and that was the end of the Braves offense for the day, or at least for the moment. Gene Baker doubled home Hobie Landreth to make it 3-2 Cubs in the second, and Wisenant just smashed one out of Wrigley in the third, a 2-run shot is 7th to make it 5-2. And then D. Fondy, again in the right center, a 2-run shot is 5th to make it 7-2. Lou Burdette got chased. 3 1/3, 9 hits. All 7 runs were earned. 2 homers, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. And his day was done after 68 pitches. Trowbridge has gone 2/3 and allowed 2 hits. Bob Rush, 5 innings, 3 hits. 2 runs, 1 earned. The home run, he walked 2 and struck out 2 so far. It'll be Landreth, Rush, and Hoke to face Trowbridge here in the 5th. Hobie has singled and scored. He's 1 for 2. There is a ground ball to Matthews. Again, they're just kind of slow ground balls, and Matthews can't make a play on it. How about that? Is that an error? Or a bit? No, it gets down the line. Landreth has 2. So Eddie Matthews has made 2 errors today. It went off his glove and bounced into left field. And Hobie Landreth, never to look a gift horse right in the mouth, took the extra base. My goodness. Changing channels in Milwaukee to start watching as the world turns. Bob Rush is 0 for 1. In a 5-run game, you're playing back. Rush swings, ground ball to second. O'Connell has it, throws to Adcock, and Hobie moves on to third. 1 out for Hoke. Don 0 for 3 with a K. This has been a bad game for the Braves. My word. Pitch to Hoke. There is a chopper over the mound. O'Connell has it. Landreth will score. Milwaukee will trade it out for a run when you're down this point. And again, for the 5th straight inning in this game, the Cubs have a run on the board. 8-2 Chicago. For Gene Baker, who has singled, doubled, scored, and driven in a run. That is back up the box. Trowbridge throws to first, and that will retire at the side. Cubs looking sharp. They got a run on a hit, and no hits, rather, in the air. Both of those errors to the sure-handed Eddie Matthews. You know it's not going right when Eddie Matthews makes an error. Chicago 8, Milwaukee 2. So Aaron, Thompson, and Adcock to face Rush here in the 6th. So what's your guys' plans for the weekend? Pitch to Aaron. There is a base hit over Ernie Banks into left center. And Hoke should have made that play as Irvin cuts it off. It is full-blown allergy season here in Burlington. The grass is turning green. The trees are starting to bud. And my wife has a nasty cough going. Bobby Thompson is 0 for 2. Has a 6-game hitting streak going. Rush. And that's a base hit past Ernie Banks. Aaron will hold at second, and the Braves have 2 on and nobody out for Adcock. Nice weather in Dayton. Now, if you're catching this one, a ball here, there, Parallel League. Is that your super souped-up chair in your avatar? When I'm doing my own thing, I can't really see the avatars too much. And so I saw when you were chatting with Dave last night, or a couple nights ago, what your avatar was. Joe Adcock has singled and homered. He now has 9 on the year. A home run now would make this a ball game. Andrew might have to mow his lawn. Don't you have a neighborhood kid that can do that? That's your manual chair. You have a motorized one as well? Okay. I don't have a manual. I have a motorized, but not a manual. Cody says someone's unfurling the W flag behind that scoreboard at Wrigley, but they better wait till the final out. There is no wind at all. Yard work or APA 77 football, depending on how much rain you get. Go hire some goats. Play football. Pitch to Adcock, first and second. There's a base hit, so the Braves have finally timed to rush. Aaron is gonna be what? Aaron went around third. The throw went into third. The run does not score. The bases are now loaded as Adcock is 3 for 3 for Del Rice, who is 0 for 2 with the strikeout. How you doing, AP? Speaking of football, so sad to see that Steve now I'm going to get his name wrong, from the Bears. McMichael, Hall of Famer, who ended his battle with ALS yesterday. Tremendous player, tremendous person, tremendous fight, but ALS always wins in the end. Pitch to Rice, bases loaded. Ground ball to Baker, might be 2 if they play their cards right. Aaron will score. Banks for 1, Fondy for 2. So the Cubs will gladly take 2 for the price of 1 as Aaron crosses home plate. And with 2 out here in the 6th, it's 8-3. Well, there's always plenty of hot air, Scotty. How are you? We could be doing these games from the Dome in Vancouver and not keep it open. Here's Johnny Logan. He's 0 for 1. Mongo McMichael, a fun wrestler for the few years he did that as well. Certainly had a boisterous personality for the industry. I'm surprised that more retired football players don't do that. It's a way to get good money. You're already in athletic shape to begin with. And a good storyline could always be written around you. Johnny Logan 0 for 1. Thompson on third, 2 out. 8-3 now to score. Logan strikes out and rushes through 6. The Braves, however, get a run on 3 hits and no errors. And after 5.5, Cubs 8, Milwaukee 3. I've not tried what's in the new version. I mean, it's a spreadsheet game, and I don't do the pictures anyway, so why should I grab it, AP? It'll be Fondy, Banks, and Morin for the Cubs here in the 6th. D2 for 3. Has singled, hit his 5th home run, and driven in 2. Fondy hits a ground ball to Logan. Johnny has it, throws to Adcock. Fondy is out on a bang-banger. A good throw by Logan got him. 77 Strat football for John is tempting, but I'm hoping a more quarterback-friendly season to surprise drop. I have the money. Burning a hole in my account. Don't we all, John? Cody says, yeah, modern wrestling seems to get a few collegiate football players that never made it or briefly played at the pro level. But more prominent names come over. And again, they don't need to, I mean, some of them, could you imagine someone like Mark Gastineau? Obviously, pro football players are hurt. You don't play that game with developing injuries. But with the nature of pro wrestling, just showing up and doing it 2 or 3 times a year would be worth the price of admission. Ernie Banks is 1 for 3. He has doubled, driven in his 45th, and scored. Right center field. Back goes Bruton, and Billy made a long run to make the catch. 2 out. For Walt Morin, who has singled, walked, and struck out. It's supposed to play quicker. That's a pretty quick game as it is, though. Above the rim, which you can find on the Delphi forums. I have to go over. I need to grab the 24-25 season anyway. If you're not familiar with it, it is a takeoff of Status Pro. It is a very good game. Yeah, quarterbacks in 72, John. 3 yards and a cloud of pukey astroturf. Walt Morin is 1 for 2. I think I told you that. 2 out, Trowbridge deals. Struck him out, and for the first time today, the Cubbies have a 0 on the board after 6 full. No runs, no hits, no errors. Cubs 8, Braves 3. So pitcher's spot, although Trowbridge has done okay. O'Connell and Bruton to face Rush here in the 7th. And Chuck Tanner, who eventually will be a manager for these Braves after a successful run. I mean, does he look 27 to you? No. Hitting 200 as a pinch hitter, 161 overall, 5 for 31 with an RBI. Parallel League had a good time a few years ago playing a season of Face to the Mat Wrestling. That's a good game. Tanner. Fly ball, right center, wasn't it? 1 out. For O'Connell, 27 batters deep for Bob Rush, 98 pitches. 6 in the 3rd inning, 6 hits. The home run to Adcock, who's had himself a day. He has walked 2 and struck out 3. Pitch to O'Connell. Ball 4. Parallel League will get a kick out of this. Billy Bruton, 0 for 2 with a walk. That's not what he'll get a kick out of. I got my new chair back in June, and we really didn't have it right until the first week of July. And somehow, even with the Vermont winter and the fact that I really don't go very far, I somehow, as of today, have 451 miles on that chair, which is pretty good because I haven't had a year. Couple posts about ATR, Cody says, on the Facebook group, but I don't have Excel on your main computer. Yeah, it certainly is worth it. The macros are very good. It plays a very good game of basketball. You're not making a lot of decisions, but it is fun, and it is realistic. It's like those Sparky Anderson pictures. When he looks 65, but he's 45. Yeah, from the 70 World Series, he's 38 years old. And he looks about 50. Sparky's first cousin was Triple G's first high school history teacher. They could have passed as twins. Yet, odometer rolling up. I was surprised. I looked down. This is the first chair I've had that's had an odometer. And I was surprised. 451. Have I taken off the studded tires yet? It's still too early. It's not May 1st. O'Connell on first. Bruton swings. That's a ground ball up the middle. Baker to Banks, and O'Connell is retired. The throw to first to get Bruton is late, and Billy's on 2 out for Eddie Matthews, who is 0 for 2, a walk and an RBI. I could drive down to D91. I don't think that the charging ports would be the same. Can you imagine? Can you imagine some truck driver somewhere between White River and Brattleboro, Vermont, and I'm putt-putting at my 3 miles an hour down 91. Yeah. What kind of wacky tamaki Ronnie are you smoking? 2 out for Matthews. Eddie pops this one up the right side. Morin just kind of waits, and in a stretch time here, 8-3 Cubs. New pitcher is going to be Lou Slater. For the Braves, making his 14th appearance. 3-0 on the replay, a 2.25 ERA. Lou has won all 3 decisions. He's 30 years old. Fastball 88. And the always good fly ball plus pitcher at Wrigley Field. He last pitched on the 25th, so 4 days ago, against the Phillies. In a 3-1 loss, he faced 1 batter on 3 pitches. Overall for Lou, 24 innings, 14 hits, 6 runs all earned, 3 home runs. He's walked 6 and struck out 7. Parallel, when I worked at the store that was downtown, that was a short 5-minute walk. But now I work from home. As you can tell from those classic scenes from my bedroom that you see every time I do an on-screen. Monty Irvin has had himself a day. He is 3 for 3, has singled 3 times, driven in a run, and scored. When Parallel first got his, a bad battery cell would die out coming uphill back home. Ow! Never completely died, but really close until he replaced it. Is your disability relatively new, my friend? Pitch to Irvin. Monty swings into center field. Bruton, 1 out. For Wizardant, who homered, he's 1 for 3. Now has 7 on the year and driven in 22. Andrew trying to push one of these monstrous chairs because I weigh 140 or so, and with the batteries, I think combined it's about 400 pounds between the chair and myself. Yeah, my wife isn't pushing that. Pitch to Wizardant. Pete swings. That's up the middle for a base hit past O'Connell. And the hit parade continues for the Cubs. Only Hoke and the pitcher has not reached or not had a hit. But Hoke does have an RBI. Hobie Landreth has scored twice today. He's 1 for 3 with a single. Popped up. Right side, Aaron, O'Connell, and Adcock have a meeting, and Aaron will not get... Will he get there? No, I'm not sure. He did. He had to reach back to get it. My goodness. So 2 out for Bob Rush, who's 0 for 2, and Bob will pitch the 8th. Batteries are definitely heavy. Oh, yeah. They're also like $400 a piece. Pitch to Rush. That is into center field. Bruton waits, will make the catch, and we played 7. Cubs get a hit, no runs again, and no errors. We go to the 8th, Chicago 8, Milwaukee 3. They're also like $450 a piece. Deep cycle marine batteries is what powers me. And you just thought it was dunks. It'll be Aaron Thompson and Adcock here in the 8th. Hank 1 for 3. He has singled and scored. That is right back to Rush, who throws to Fondy. 1 out. You know what? Were you watching the week I got this chair? We talked about that. The price of my chair. Do you work with DME? The price of my chair was $46,000 and change. There's nothing exotic about it. There's no sip and puffs. I have a touchscreen now pad on there, which I really can't use, but that's how I know what the odometer is. It's not even really a big old custom seat, and it was the price of a Ford F-150. Oh, you lost your leg in 5 years? Okay. So yeah, 46.5, 46.4. They used to be the price of a Ford Taurus, around $20,000. But now, yeah, a Ford F-150. I don't have the cargo room of a Ford F-150. Bobby Thompson's 1 for 3 with 1 out here in the 8th. Yeah. And they were reimbursed about $10,000 of that through my insurance. Pitch to Thompson. Got away from Landerthorn. Strike 3 down to Fondy for the out. Yeah, that's a whole nother kettle of fish, Cody. The racket, that is durable medical equipment. Joe Adcock is 3 for 3 today. His single twice and homered. He has 3 of the Braves, 6 hits. That is into right field. Morin will go back, and Walt will finally retire Adcock. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's been all Cubs. No runs, no hits, and no errors. After 7.5, Chicago 8, Milwaukee 3. So Hoke, Baker, and Fondy to face Sleeter here in the 8th. Don is 0 for 4. He has struck out once, and his fielder's choice at one point drove him his 11th run. That is into left center field. Bruton. Crowd liked it. So does Billy. 1 out. Gene Baker is 2 for 4 on the afternoon. He has singled, doubled, driven in his 21st run, and scored his 31st. How long usage can you get out of a chair? Well, they only buy them for you every 5 years. So you get 5 years at a minimum. I think I got 8 out of the last one. There's a long sob story with that, which I really don't want to get into right now. But if you can get 5 out of them, that's pretty good. I mean, they're all computers now. We'll replace the tires once. There might be 1 or 2 times that we do batteries. But I baby it. I don't roughhouse with it. Those are my legs, and I need them to go for 5 years. So I honestly was surprised that I've put 450 miles out of it. Pitch to Baker is a ground ball to O'Connell. He'll throw it to... No, he won't. He won't get a glove on it. It hit off his glove. He closed it, and the ball was not in there. So Danny makes his 7th error of the year. And for the Braves, that's their 3rd error. My word, this has been a bad game for the Braves. D. Fondy is 2 for 4 today. He has homered, his 5th of the year, driven in 28. That is up the middle. Logan takes it to the bag himself, and the Cubby, Fondy's going to reach. So there's 2 out. Double play ball, but there was no throw. Yours was expensive, but not that high. Yeah, I mean, my insurance covered it. I don't have to pay for any of it, but when they gave me the invoice for it, and again, everything, there is no such thing as a custom or off-the-rack electric wheelchair, okay? Everything is customized to the nth degree, and thankfully mine don't really need all those bells and whistles. We're talking about tilt and chair depth and all that. I got a 4-page invoice. Ernie Banks is 1 for 4. He has doubled, driven in a run, and scored. The saddest part of it all is that the woman I've been working with my entire adult life in getting new chairs has retired, because we're all 28, 29, 30 years older. I got my first chair with her when my wife was my girlfriend. And we were engaged pretty early on, which just goes to show. So you work with these people for, I worked with her for 30 years. Pitch to Banks. There's a fly ball left center. Back goes Bruton, and Billy will catch that one on the ivy for the out. No runs, no hits, and the Braves just want to take that train back to Milwaukee. After 8, Cubs 8, Braves 3. So Rice, who's sitting on a long hitting streak, Logan in the pitcher spot to face Rush here in the 9th. Dell is 0 for 3. He has struck out and grounded into a double play. 8 runs, 12 hits, no errors for the Cubs. They've left on 8. Milwaukee, 3 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors, and they have left on 6. Oh, convertible? Yes. Always a convertible. Makes that winter driving, Dave, wonderful. Feel the snow and the ice in your hair. Have the wife on the lap, complaining because it's cold. You're a big boy, and the chairs are pretty flimsy. Yeah, I had a manual, but they won't buy you both. And there really isn't any reason for me to have one at this point. My wife does not want to be pushing me around. Pitch to Rice. There is a pop-up left side. Hoke will wait. This has been the antithesis of a Chicago day. 74 degrees and no wind. Johnny Logan 0 for 2 with a K. A T-top. We've tried a couple times in all seriousness over the years to figure out how to hook an umbrella up. And the answer is, it's fine until you go through a doorway that's too narrow, and then you're ripping the blessed thing off. Got him. That's 5 for Rush. Last chance saloon, as Logan swung on and missed, will be the pitcher spot unless Sleeter hits. Sleeter can actually hit. He's 3 for 6. How you doing, Mike? I got my first electric chair 50 years ago. They did not make children's-sized chairs. They had to fit me in with cushions. And my mother, God bless her, made me take a driving course in our front yard before she let me loose in that thing. I drove it with my chin, and it topped out at a half mile an hour. And it cost $1,900. Wes Covington will pinch hit. Wes, as a pinch hitter, 429 and 2 RBI. Overall, 205 and 2 RBI. So Russ trying to lock this one down. Delivers. That's a base hit, so last chance saloon gets extended for a batter as Walt Morin throws it back in. Wes a threat to steal, but if you're down 5 runs and down your last out, you steal, it's on your own. Rush, 36 batters, 133 pitches, 8 2/3, 7 hits, the home run to Adcock. He has walked 3 and struck out 5. O'Connell 1 for 3, a single, a run scored, a walk, and a strikeout. Landreth reminds Rush that they have this game won. Please cooperate. O'Connell swings. That's up the middle. Wisnett will grab it. Covington will go to third. They'll take the chance to throw to Hoke. He is close. And they got him! Cubs win! Cubs win! Hey, hey! Cubs win! Wow! Covington ran on his own
down, and that was a strike down to third, and that's the ball game. So the Cubs win a laugher in 2 hours and 52 fake minutes, 8-3. The Cubs go to 28 and 34, 8 runs, 12 hits, no errors. They're left on 8. Milwaukee falls to 38 and 22. And again, that's a great record, but Brooklyn has caught fire. 3 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors. What a sloppy game from the Braves. And they leave on 7. We're going to give Wisnant the player of the game, 2 for 4 and 2 RBI. Bob Rush goes the distance, goes to 7 and 6, 9 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs. You want a replay on that play? Yeah. How about that? He had 3 runs, 2 earned, a home run to Adcock, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. There's no replay, Gardner, in 56. Lou Burdett falls to 4 and 6. What a horrible outing. 3 1/3, 9 hits, 7 runs all earned. The 2 home runs, Wisnant and Fondy. A walk and 2 strikeouts. Trowbridge, 2 1/3, 2 hits, a run and a strikeout. And Sleeter, 2 innings and a hit. So let's tell you what we got Monday. We'll either have a doubleheader. We have a doubleheader for you sometime next week for the 4th. The rest of this Friday in baseball, June 29th, it was a doubleheader. Oh, I should have done that. Chicago and Cleveland. Didn't see it, but we've done a bunch of White Sox games. Cleveland sweeps. So the lead is now 4. Narleski won the opener 5-4. You're now 2-0. Wilson falls to 2-2. Minnie Minoso 3 for 4, hits his 11th and drives in 4. In the nightcap, Bob Lemon beats the White Sox 4-1 against Billy Pierce. Lemon 8-5, Pierce 8-5, Vic Wertz 2 for 4, hits his 21st and drives in 2. The Yankees lose. Washington owns them 3-1. Ramos 5-3. Grimm falls to 2-4. One Mickey Mantle's fault, 1 for 2, hits his 24th and walks twice. Don Drysdale 3 hits the Phillies 4-2. He goes 8, gives up an earned run, and Drysdale goes to 6-1. Stu Miller falls to 2-3. Duke Snyder 2 for 4, hits his 26th and drives in 2. Pirates beat the Giants 6-4. Law 2-8. Hearn 3-7. Now Thomas 3 for 4, 2 RBI and a double. Red Sox beat the Orioles 3-2 and 10. Hurd 4-3. Ike Forniellis goes to 2-1. Billy Goodman plays his trumpet 2 for 4 with a triple. Kansas City, Tommy Lasorda beats the Tigers 2-1. Lasorda 3-5. Heft 8-3, and Harvey Keene hits his 6th 2 for 4 with a double. The Cardinals beat the Redlegs 5-2. Finnegan Ben Meisel 6-6. Joe Nuxhall rounds third, heads home. He goes to 7-4, but he did hit his third, going 1 for 2. And so that's that for that. So when we're with you Monday, it'll be the Redlegs and the Cardinals. Let's see. Is that what we want to do? I think I might change that. I think there's, let's see, Cincinnati's 10 back. Wow. There's just not a lot of good things for that. I don't want to do the Red Sox and the Oriole doubleheader. Yeah, we'll stick with that. We haven't had the Cardinals on in a while. The doubleheader will be the Dodgers and the Giants. And I'm not sure when that will be. If it... Oops. Apparently the cat and my wife are having a fight. Whether it's Tuesday or Thursday, I don't know. So the Dodgers will have Don Newcomb go in the first game. and then they'll have Don Drysdale in the second. So that's what we got coming up for you. Hopefully the wife is okay. The cat has attacked her. She's 13 and she's vicious. That'll do. I'm Ron Zucker. Thank you so much for watching. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Yeah, don't make the 27th out at third. That was crazy. That was crazy. Oh, you got a rear wheel drive? All right. Put up the W. Cubs win. Goodbye. I lost it. Where's my... You all right?